Hello, my name is Maria. I am the owner and the founder of Africa with Locals, which is the enterprise that coaches locally owned travel agencies and hotels in Africa. So basically I help local travel brands to attract international visitors, the visitors from Europe, Australia, America. And in this video, I will present the case study of Airbnb. Airbnb is an online platform for holiday rentals. So there are two sides. It's a typical marketplace. One side is the side of the market with private owners that want to rent out their rooms or guest houses, bed and breakfasts, or even hotels. And on the other side, there are the travelers, the potential guests seeking a vacation holiday rental. And now, what will you know after watching this video? So even if you are not a hotel owner, if you are a travel agent, you will also learn how to present your brand online in different online channels, because it's not just about Airbnb. After watching this video, you will understand better how to present your brand in your website, in your social media channels, or in your in the travel marketplaces that you use, like Booking or Expedia or a TripAdvisor, or obviously Airbnb. So I encourage you to watch the whole video, and it will be full of tips how to do the things or how not to do them. Okay, ready? So let me share the screen with you and let's check it out. So this is the Airbnb website, and let's say that I want to check out some places in Abuja. I'm not going to select any date because I just want to show you quite a few important things. Okay, so here I am. We see here the map and there are some locations here. Let's pick bed and breakfast and let's see what we've got in there. How do the brands present themselves? Okay then, so first I want to focus on the pictures. Have a look, like the difference between the very first two or three pictures. Which one pulls your attention? Obviously not this one. This one looks like a dungeon. It's so dark that it's not attractive at all. In here we have quite a good light, right? It's bright, everything is clearly visible, so I can feel prompted to click on it, right? Let's scroll down and have a look. You see, like every second place, actually the majority of them have quite a bad lighting. You know, if you have a bad light, you cannot attract anybody. Look at this place. You see, it could be attractive if you only did a couple of things. Look, it is so dark in here. It looks like a hole, basically. And look, I see these heavy curtains there, and I understand it that they are closed because obviously it is to protect the room from the heat that is outside. But just for the sake of taking a picture, you have to open the drapes. In here I can see, this nice sunshine, that could be let into the room. So instead of this dark hole, you could see a bright interior, and that would be definitely much more appealing, to click on the picture and then maybe proceed with a booking. But instead, you see, I just see a very dark place. I can't see any details. The most detailed thing is this curtain in here, which is not the most attractive thing. Okay, so no, this is not what we want. Now have a look at this place, basically, or maybe this one. What is the problem in here? Look at the color of the light. So the problem is that the majority of bulbs in Nigeria, they offer this cold bluish or greenish light that is not very attractive. Even if you, for example, as a Nigerian, or if you are from another country in Africa, but what I've observed, it's quite popular in many different African countries. Even if you are fond of such light, cold bluish light, you need to know that if you want to make your picture attractive, and basically you sell, no matter what your product is, you sell through the pictures. So this is the very first thing that the website visitor will look at. So in here, like when we think of the light, I need to tell you that the absolute majority of Western travelers, they seek, this warm, cozy light instead of this bluish, cold light that makes the whole, interior look kind of crappy, Like, look at this picture. This is like half-half. There are very nice bedside lamps over here, and they have this warm light that is cozy. But up there, again, this cold light. It's not something that you want to have to make a room look cozy. So you have to stick to this kind of lights or regular daylight, okay? And if it's artificial light, make it either neutrally white like in here or warm like in here. Definitely not greenish or bluish or a flashlight from your camera, which makes the whole picture look very, very bad. Okay, so that was the light. Now let's check out something else. Have a look at this room or studio. Katampe extension bed and breakfast. Okay, so all right, it even looked quite nice on a small picture, on a thumbnail, but when you click on it and you open it up, you see that it's totally blurred. Like, this is not a professional picture. Even with your phone, you can take a better picture. So you cannot post anything like that. If you post something like this, people think that you can't afford a photographer. To be honest, you can take a good picture even with your phone, if your phone is, let's say, modern. But you cannot present something like this if you want to attract anybody. Okay, let me show you the next thing. Let's have a look at this place. It looks better, right? It's quite nice. Definitely the photo is sharp, right? It's not blurred like in case of the previous place. What I would change in here, even though the furniture is nice and the place looks definitely nice, the light in here again is nice, cozy, warm, but not this one, and definitely not this one, which is like greenish. So I would change the light. And now I'd like to pull your attention to one thing. So even though the design is quite nice, especially the ceiling, the furnishing is nice, there is one problem for Western travelers. So it is not going to be a problem for local African travelers, but if you want to attract the visitors from overseas, from the USA or Canada, or from Europe, from Australia, you have to think like they think, and you have to meet their expectations, not your expectations. So basically, what's the problem in here? The floor. So in many African countries, this is a regular, typical thing to do, that you've got tiles everywhere. But let me tell you one thing. A Western traveler is used to having tiles only in a bathroom and a kitchen, but definitely not in their bedroom, okay? So what can you do about it? Even though the tiles are definitely very, very good and easier to be maintained clean, right? Maybe that's the reason why the majority of places have these tiles on the floor. I don't know. But if you want to attract Western travelers, you have to do something about it. So they are either used to having these wooden panels on the floor or the wall-to-wall carpeting in their houses and in the hotels that they stay at. Okay? So what you could do easily, obviously you will not change the tiles to wooden panels all of a sudden, but you could easily cover it with a wall-to-wall carpet. If you can't afford that, the other thing you could do is to place a rug on the floor as big as possible. This one actually is not very big. Let's go back to the previous picture that showed the entire room, and in there you can clearly see that the rug it's just not big enough. Still, the majority of the floor is not covered with anything. So I would definitely change this thing as well. Okay, let's go back to our listings. What else I'd like to show you? Have a look at this picture. A balcony in a Barcelona hotel. Actually, it's not a very good name for a hotel in Nigeria, because as a visitor, I want to see as much as possible of the local things. So even the name of the hotel should be local, or at least suggest something else, but not, Barcelona. I don't want to think about Spain and Barcelona when I am in Nigeria. I want to think about Africa. I want to think about Nigeria, about Abuja. So this is not a good name for a hotel. But we are talking about the pictures. What's wrong with this one? Actually, not with the picture, but with the place itself. You can see that it's modern, it's clean, it's neat. But the thing is that it's so cold. The feeling that it gives is absolutely cold. It's like a hospital, not a hotel. So when you think of taking pictures of your place, I would also prepare for that, not only in terms of having a camera and either a professional photographer or learning myself, what are the basic requirements for a good photo, but I would also prepare in terms of staging the interior before I take a picture of it. So how do you stage it? What could you do, in case of this place, for instance, to make it more attractive? A very simple thing. You don't have to do much. Just imagine that you place, for example, in here, this nice tall plant, green plant in a big pot. That already gives this warmer feeling. Then you put a clean white tablecloth on this table, which would create this feeling of elegance, of style. And then you put some nice small bouquet of flowers in the very center of it. And the whole picture, trust me, looks entirely different. And if you place some extra, plate with fruits in here, it's already more and more appealing, and it encourages me to click on the photo to see more pictures of these nice interiors, and in the end it would probably prompt me to proceed with a booking. So these are the core elements that you need to think of when you present your offer, be it a hotel, be it a guest house, or the travel agency that wants to present the accommodation during their trips. You have to think about the light, you have to think about the whole picture to be bright, not dark. You have to think of the type of lighting, that it's warm, not cold. And you have to think of the floor, and you need to make sure that the picture is sharp and that you stage it properly so that it gives you this warm feeling, so that it creates this warm ambience, not a hospital-like ambience. Okay? And now let's check something else out. Let's have a look at some Lagos listings, and in here we'll focus on a different element of your Airbnb presence, which is the main name of your place. What should be there so that it is this this extra element that attracts people's attention. So there are these common mistakes made by many Airbnb owners, and they don't worry much about what they put in here. So this name actually allows you only 50 characters, so you have to be very careful about what you type in there. So comfortable and spacious with modern living space. Well, let me tell you, 50 listings on Airbnb start with comfortable or spacious or cozy. Okay? So it's not the word that you want to use. Home away from home. Every second listing or every third one starts like that too. It's not something that you want to type. The name M&Q bedroom 4, well, not quite. Lekki deluxe room with a view. Okay, so in here there is one good thing. Lekki, it gives me the district within Lagos, so that's something that is quite important, especially in case of these huge city that Lagos is. And obviously we know about the distances there, and we know about the traffic during rush hour. So we want to know that the district we choose is the one that will be comfortable for us. So it is important not to even write the name of your place in here, because you can write it somewhere else, like Rosewood Residence. You know, it doesn't give me much information. But, or Nikki B. What is Nikki B? It's not something that is, you know, encouraging. It's not the information that I'm looking for. And the very first thing that's true that people look at is the picture, but then the very next one is this headline here. So you have to think about it thoroughly, okay? So again, to sum it up, I would avoid any adjectives like comfortable, spacious, cozy, beautiful, modern, because I can see it from the pictures. Sometimes the titles say, for example, luxury furnishing. Don't tell me whether it's luxury or not. I can see it again from the pictures, okay? So what information in here would be interesting for me? Well, let's check this place out. Nimbus Art Gallery Room. All right, Nimbus maybe doesn't tell me anything, but Art Gallery Room, I'm like curious, what is that? So let's check it out. Is it really like an art gallery? Okay, and now I can see from the pictures that it really is. So that was something that pulled my attention and that made me click, and now I am not disappointed. I got what I was, you know, expecting, and I'm thinking, okay, so if I can rent out a room in such space, it's gonna be really unique. So you see, in here, such name was important, you know, art gallery. That made me click. Home away from home, we've already mentioned that. Let's keep scrolling to see if we find something interesting, something worth checking out. Well, the place of creative wonder. No, it's not definitely something that would encourage me to click. Palm View Manor Hotel, so at least I know that it's a hotel, right? So no, in here, I don't see anything. Again, you see home away from home, Bates Garden, First View Hotel Room, Home of Comfort. No, it's all the same. Names. Okay, the Nigerian experience. Maybe this is something that is really worth checking out. Let's do it. Do they really offer a Nigerian experience? Let's see. Or is it just, you know, a catchy phrase and then it leaves me disappointed? Come experience Nigeria, the heart of Africa. Learn about Nigerian culture, language, and food. In my bed and breakfast, we're expecting you. Come see Lagos, explore Osun and Ogun State. Come see Nigeria. Okay, you know what? So now I am a little bit disappointed, because if you write that it's going to be the Nigerian experience, I want to see it in the pictures, but I can't see anything. Your location, your facility doesn't offer anything like that. So pay attention not to disappoint a potential visitor by writing something that you don't really offer, okay? Now, my last final tip regarding the title. So what else could you write in here so it's not like one of the thousands titles of different properties on Airbnb? I would point out the main feature of your facility that differs it from the others. So for example, if your place, let's say, offers the access to the garden, you can write it in here, access to garden. Or if it's like right next to the beach, you can write in this main headline, 1 minute to the beach, okay? If it offers exceptionally fast internet, you can write in here fast Wi-Fi. So some features that are not common, not typical, that you want to point out that you've got it, not your competitors, okay? Now, what else is important when it comes to making a good online presence on Airbnb? So we talked about the pictures, we talked about the name of the place, And obviously what is very important is the description in here. So you don't want to write anything that you don't offer, and you want to write as much as you offer. Not too much, not too little. And what you want to do in here is, not to cover up anything. Obviously you point out your strongest aspects, but if there is something that is like a potential fault, you also want to let your visitors know that in advance, so that they are not disappointed when they arrive. Because if they, very often something that is, let's say, a negative thing, but if they know it in advance, they prepare for that, they know that they should expect it, and then they have no problem in the end with it. For example, let's say that your house is in this clubbing area that on Friday and Saturday nights it's quite noisy. So first of all, you can present it in this appealing way rather than negative way, saying that, like, for example, I'm in this cool area with, a great nightlife, and it might be a little bit noisy at times, especially on a Friday or Saturday night, but if you just come prepared with your earplugs, you will be fine. And then your guests know what to expect, and they come prepared, and they never, leave you a negative review saying that, oh, it was noisy, because they were prepared for that, okay? While if you don't do that, and they arrive, they choose your location, and they come to your place, and then it turns out that you can't sleep at night on the weekend, they would definitely leave a negative review and drive your sales down just because of this thing. So make sure that everything that is in here is credible, that it reflects the situation, and that the guests know what to expect. As many amenities as possible should be listed in here, right? If you don't have a dryer, get one. It's not expensive, and it looks much better if you have more things featured in this section. Like in here, we've got 18 amenities, right? So it's quite an important thing to think about. And the very last thing I would like to show you is the profile section. You have to fill it in, and you have to make sure that it's encouraging and that it presents you as a host in a credible way. In here, we only have this information hosted by Emmanuel, Brooklyn, New York. That's strange. I'm here in Nigeria. Why Brooklyn, New York? And there is this description: hardworking and an honest man, even with a mistake in here, right? It should be N, not A. Response rate 50%, not very good. Response time within a day, and nothing else. One review only. Okay, at least he's verified. And the worst thing is in here. There is no profile picture of him. I can't see his face. I can't see if I like him, if he looks trustworthy. Instead, I just have some, door or whatever it is, a piece of a building. It's not what we want in here, okay? So this section is very important, especially in case of Airbnb, which is the service where private individual people become your hosts, and they create your overall experience. So it's important for your visitor to see this section, okay? So I hope you found it all useful. I hope that you will apply all those tips right now into your brand, be it a travel brand, like a travel agency or a hotel. It doesn't really matter, because even if you are a travel agency, you also need to present your offer. You need to show not only the itinerary, but you need to show the standard of accommodation where your guests will stay, okay? So you also need to think about all those aspects, how to present it in terms of the pictures, what kind of pictures you should ask, the hotels you cooperate with, so that they send you. And in the end, you can create this overall experience that, might be much more appealing for a potential traveler if you take all those tips into account. Good luck. Let me know in the comments if it was helpful. Let me know what are the other topics you are interested in. Let me know if you have any questions, and I definitely take them into consideration when I plan my next content videos. Good luck, implement it all, and let me know how you find it.